Alright, hello everybody, welcome to an 8v8 on Sulphur Springs. Pretty unusual map, not one I've actually ever played before, but today we are featuring the one and only, oh gosh, the one and only myself. Look at me go. I'm trying my best here. So this is going to be a little bit of a different cast. Still, we're going to be casting the entire game, but I would like to focus more on the way that I play this game, the mistakes I'm making, the way I try to map things out, and because I literally just played this like 15 minutes ago, I feel like I have a pretty good, still have a pretty good understanding of what kind of mindset that I was in. So yeah, let's get started here on the Cool Colors team, the one that I'm a part of on this northwest part. We have our team leader of Zacher from Britain. Ugh. Great Britain. He might be from somewhere cool like Scotland or Wales, Northern Ireland. And then in the Warm Colors team, the leader is In1X, Nix maybe? From, is that the Netherlands? Is that the Dutch flag? I don't know. But yeah, this was a kind of a scary starting position for me. So I guess we should go over like what this map is. So it's a decently high metal map, definitely built for 8 players, lots of metal here. Mexes aren't worth a ton, 1.8, but then there are some bigger mexes like this one, 3.2. Those are scattered across the map here. We do have a lot of mexes, especially on the low ground and on the starting points. And the way the map is set up is, you know, like these people right here, including myself, are very close to the enemy. See, not a big distance. And then we have the sea up top here, and then we also have people that are going to be fighting over the lowlands. So it's a really interesting game where everybody's sort of in the action, but the people that are near this southwest corner here are very, very much embroiled in the action and, you know, fighting over every little metal scrap that they can get. So I think I start with a pretty standard build: 3 mexes, 2 mexes, 2 wind turbines, and I go for my bot lab, the Armada bot lab, of course, because I'm playing Armada. And we are moving the ticks out here. So I didn't know who I was faced up against, but this guy is 24 TS, which isn't incredible, like, you know, in the scope of the entire game, but compared to me, with my very low veterancy, I'd spend a lot of time theorizing, playing against bots, playing raptors, scavengers, and of course replay casting, but I don't actually spend a lot of time multiplayer casting. So, you know, delving into multiplayer always is a bit of an experience for me. I really like to do the big player events, but I'll do some, you know, I've done a couple 8v8s. I do 1v1s, or I did. So I got a little metal extractor pick there. Felt pretty good about that, but that's about all I managed to do. Now I do manage to, I don't know if I quite spot that construction vehicle actually. I mean, I should have, but I didn't react to it. And then I got kind of blindsided by a couple blitzes out, and I was kind of panicking. So I have my lab set up in such a way I'm making 1 construction bot and 3 pawns on repeat after the couple ticks that I opened with there. So I do eventually find this construction vehicle, take out a mech that he was building, take out the vehicle. So I'm doing quite well against this poor Dutch man down here. I feel like I'm doing pretty well. We are supposed to be opposed to each other, and I feel like, you know, I'm grabbing a couple mexes, I'm killing construction vehicles. These blitzes are going to kill 2 of my pawns, which is really, really terrible, but it's not super bad in the grand scheme of things. I'm grabbing some metal, a little bit of a micro mistake there. I have my lab set out all the way over here, so and then when I do shift click, it was messing me up there, but I'm getting my, actually it doesn't show here, but I'm doing my auto grouping and stuff like that. But, so yeah, I'm feeling pretty good here. If we want to look at my economy right now, I'm definitely stalling energy. See, I'm not building any energy right now. Huge mistake. I'm kind of focused on getting metal right now, and I should really have more guys getting metal out here. I don't know why I'm building a beamer instead of a laser tower. I built a lot of beamers this game, or a lot, you know, more than I should, and I don't really know why that was, but I felt drawn to them. So I'm trying to get this beamer up here, trying to get some metal, and then I do realize that I'm stalling on energy, so I'm going to go back and make some wind farms. I don't space them out just because I was like really stalling before I put this thing on weight. So yeah, not a great position for me to be in. If we want to look at my team's economy, we're doing really well energy-wise, but yeah, we're pretty even with the Warm Colors here. And then eventually Nix does start expanding just uncontested. I also don't have any good vision here. I literally don't even have a radar tower, so that's a huge mistake. Always make radar towers and stuff like that. We can also see up here on the plateau, just to give a little bit more of an overview, we see Timionator and my teammate Zacher going at it up here in this plateau over this 3.2 mex, and then of course the C players are getting started up, so Robustius and Lube. Yeah, since I was a bit of a newer player, I did choose the front line because I do believe that's kind of how you're supposed to learn, or that's what I see the theories are. Anyway, so I have some pawns going out here. Didn't realize his commander was here, figured it out, would have lost the battle anyways. Almost got that construction vehicle, but not quite. So I lost, yeah, I lost a lot there. My teammate points it out, I guess. I don't know for myself or for what. But yeah, so the beamer is up, building a second one here. And they are going to be enough to actually ward off this little attack. Now I do lose a construction bot, which is never fun, but I managed to take out a few blitzes here. And then his commander starts walking in, which is just insane to me. I would never think that a commander would be trying to 1v1 a beamer. But yeah, it takes 25% damage there. I guess a little commander update that happened like a month ago now at this point really worked to his advantage there. But I'm trying to get a construction turret up to heal the beamer, I guess, but this is a stupid idea. Don't do this until you already actually have like defenses. So commander's gonna attack my other beamer. This one is getting veterancy and doing damage, so he's under 50%, but I have nothing to attack him with, so I should be microing away at this point. Purple player down here, and the yellow player just pretty stale, and then Mexna Dalina just helping out with pings, I guess, but he is ecoing, I believe, is the goal there. We also have another guy up here on that plateau doing quite well. So I start getting pushed back after my initial victories. I'm kind of not having the greatest time. So I lose a mechs there. I lose a lot of construction bots. I lose my little pawns that I was amassing. I think I left this on way too long, and now I'm just starting to produce stuff again. So I'm like, oh crap, you know, this is gonna be like that big creator little battle we had, where I'm like forced on my like little island with like no eco here. It's just gonna be tragic. This Mex was still alive for a little bit, actually, which is pretty nice. But yeah, Nyx wasn't super happy, I guess, and he is going to be pushing all the way up here. I do believe, yeah, so I also have a construction bot out here, a little cheeky guy. So I am able to supplement my metal by a little bit, but it's still feeling relatively bad for me. Yellow also doing quite well. He has taken this 3.2 mechs. Nothing that's gonna, you know, break the game or change the game or anything, but still, my mechs does get taken out there. I don't build any geothermal power plants. I probably should have, but I was really focused on just slowly building up my wind because I was literally I felt like I was gonna stall if I stopped building wind. So I was just trying to do something there. But I'm starting to get my little laser tower defense here. We have Dolina helping me out a little bit. Got some grunts out there on the front line, and yeah, it's not feeling a good position for me. I was doing okay, but I think the biggest mistake I made was just giving up this ground so readily. I didn't have an army. I put my little factory on wait when I was energy stalling, so I guess stalling material, it's a very, very easy way to lose the early game. And once you lose the early game, like I'm ceding like so much ground to my opponent here. I'm ceding all these 3 mexes. Like ideally we'd be in the middle here. I actually have like a little bit of an advantage on the mech side, having 2 there, but or 3. Or I guess yeah, there's 3 on each side. But you know what I mean. Like I'm ceding not only my own mexes, but any pressure on my opponent. Now he's going to be moving units over to help Timinator up here on the plateau, I guess. As he's been kind of pushed back. We do have some gunships out here from Poco Riso, which are going to be hit by some anti-air there, this Thistle. What a tragedy, one goes down. It is ping though, and I do ping. Like I have this stuff up here, man. I was trying to get this guy to help me, but I didn't really have time to talk in chat. I mean, I did, but if we want to look at the graph at the end, we can see my clicks per minute and actions per minute, stuff like that. It's in the tub, right? So I'm not very you know, I do high school debate and things like that, or I did, I guess, time in college. So I'm a decently fast thinker, but not with these strategy games. So this is on wait again, as I'm literally stalling metal because I'm just trying to build up this medium artillery because I see he's amassing stuff. I saw that he had, I thought he had artillery vehicles, so I was like, oh my gosh, this guy's gonna push me out of my base. So I'm building a medium artillery. Then we have Dolina go in, which is a huge moment. And the gunships too are going to make a little bit of a pass, so I should be going in and helping him, I guess. But I'm like, I felt like this push was going to fail. Like there's a lot of stuff built up here, which there just isn't. But there's just the commander and a few blitzes, so I really should have gone in. I finally decide to like go in. The charge of the pawns. Woohoo! Let's get in there, baby. So I do take out this beamer here. Going to be taking out that construction vehicle. Next is going to be taking heavy damage from all those blitzes there, and I see that he's like weak. I couldn't see the health bar, but I'm like, this guy's gonna die. So I did end up finishing him off there, but all thanks to Dolina for actually making the push there with any amount of force. Then we have some bombers over here from Poco Riso, just continuing to dish out damage. Yeah, No anti-air there for Terminator, which you definitely should have at this point. So now I'm feeling better. I'm like, okay, I can start. There's hope at the end of this tunnel. I thought this was going to be like a really easy loss for us because we see poor Speller Casey actually taking Gestos to town on this side, but he's getting invaded over here. I'm like, if I lose, like if my enemy is at the gates over here and we lose a player, there's no way we're coming back with me on the front line, right? But we do have Gestos going down, taking out the rest of his army there. Unfortunately, Speller Casey doesn't push with this advantage and the shell shockers there, but what are you gonna do? So I know a big criticism would be I just leave this commander waiting here. I do decide to go in, and I'm going to be gathering that reclaim as well as building some mexes. So finally getting my metal economy up again with the beamer. What am I doing? This should just be a couple laser towers, but yeah. So Nyx is definitely on the back foot at this point. He also got bombed, I believe. His base did get hit pretty hard there. I don't know that obviously, but I wasn't really paying attention. However, I do just decide to go in. Going to be making my mexes, going to be reclaiming that commander, and suddenly I'm going to have a decent amount of metal here. So I do transition to a vehicle plant, which I should have done. I mean, it's 11 minutes in, guys. I should have done that a while ago, but I am going to be starting with yeah, with that vehicle plant, which is good. Armada vehicle plant is very, very efficient, has a lot of options to choose from, and pretty good from you know, transitioning from boss to vehicles to tier 2. Although I was assuming I was going to get a tier 2 constructor. We did have like a guy ecoing back here. I mean, really a couple of guys able to really launch her eco. So I was like, I should just be gifted some, but in case I don't. So yeah, here's my reclaim. Only going to be 1250 metal, but you know, and I waste like half of that on Overwatch, but you know, it's not really a waste because I don't have an army, and stack defenses are pretty cost efficient. It's not like you're running upkeep on them or anything. So some incisors from Dolina here trying to break through. Not quite able to do that. More stouts or brutes coming in behind. In terms of our C player, seems to be pretty even, as well as on the plateau. Mostly just a stalemate. So I really felt like it's going to be here where we're going to make any of the breakthroughs. So I start making some stouts, which are having fun pathfinding issues there. I'm not rally pointing them right now. There we go. Do rally point them out to the larger island, and I'm going to start working on this production and getting it going. So one thing you can also say about me is I don't know what I'm doing here. It feels like really overkill to have 3 construction bots. I'm leaving this guy to just do nothing. So, you know, my micro needs a lot of work. We do have brutes actually breaking through for Dolina here. I didn't notice this in-game. I don't notice a lot in-game, and a big thing for me is tunnel visioning, which I guess some people notice from my cast as well. I just get really focused on one issue. You cannot say this about this cast, though, because it is mainly focused about my efforts and the mistakes I'm making and stuff like that. But we also have Clap Echo 2-4 pushing over the plateau here. So my teammates are doing a fantastic job either holding the line or pushing forward. Like we also have a Speller Casey doing as well in this yellow player here. And I actually didn't realize, like, all of this water is transversable for bots, vehicles, anything. I didn't know that. I thought some of it might have been just too deep, but I could definitely go. So I decided to push forward my pawns. I didn't know if, like, he was starting to build up there or anything. I didn't really notice that he had been bombed, honestly. So I was like, oh crap. So I'm going to go take some stuff out. Nothing to really take out for me there. I think I'll grab these thugs and this thug and the trasher. But I actually noticed that there's like nothing there. So eventually, I think I'm going to make some sort of play here. I also noticed my enemy has air power, so I'm going to start building anti-air, because one of the biggest things I hound on, like, it feels like every new player lobby does this. They don't build anti-air. Even after getting like hit, being like bombed, and they still won't build anti-air. It's the weirdest thing. So I'm like, I'm not going to fall into that trap. Even though I haven't been hit by any air power, I'm like, I can't. I can't die to aircraft, man. So I send in some pawns here, testing the waters. I've only got 5 pawns, right? Like, these guys are not going to do anything. But I'm like, this is all he has. Like, he has 4 artillery vehicles. Like, this is going to be really easy to push through. So I move my stouts forward. I'm like, I'm gonna push, man. We're gonna see. So also fighters from Poco Riso, doing a little surveying before. I think these are whirlwinds, right? Or Stormbringers. Sorry. I can't really tell for the icon. I'm not actually sure if I don't think the icon is any different. So yeah, bomber's gonna be heading over to Randomium's base. Doing a little bit of damage there. Advanced vehicle plant trying to get out for him as my stouts do come in on Nyx's base here. So yeah, we're gonna have some fun, man. So I move in. I'm gonna start doing some damage there. Meanwhile, like, it's 15 minutes in, I guess. My economy's been pretty stagnant again because I did get pushed off the island, but I should be like starting to think about tier 2. Like everyone else is doing tier 2 basically, and I'm not. So I think I eventually get someone gives me a tier 2 constructor here. I think it was Confuzzled because I'm literally I can't build my tier 2 plant. It's kind of it's really, really unfortunate. But yeah, so the fighters do start swarming, and I have a couple nettles here, so able to get actually a couple kills on these guys is very nice. Nice miss there, man, making me look good. Yeah, continuing to send in these medium tanks, and I do notice that Timinator has a shuriken, and he still has that aircraft plant, so I move back because I'm like, I don't want him to bring out like a bunch of shurikens and then all my stouts get stuck. So I'm just going to be moving them back. Like the shurikens could still fly over them, so I don't really know what I was doing here. I should have like moved them all the way back if I thought a big shuriken force was coming, or I should have just left them in the fight. I do move them back even more, but still, like, what am I doing? That's the question of the day, really. What is Logan doing? So we also have a big brute force from Klapek here. I don't know how this got here. I can't really say. I noticed it in game, and I have I'm just like, I don't understand this at all. Like, did he really move all the way like down over here? Because if he did, that's actually like literally insane. For my opponents not to do anything about that. Again, we have Dolina leading the charge, and then I'm going to be reinforcing with a lot more stouts here. So their brutes are going to get taken out here, most likely. Yeah, but it draws the force away. So he's drawing all the the army from Nyx away, which I would be able to beat anyways. But I'm still not easily. And then I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go in. So doing damage to construction turrets, which is always my first target because they go down so easy. And it doesn't matter how much energy and metal you have. If you don't have any build power, your economy is just going to be super stagnant. So taking out those is always a big priority. And they also cost a lot for dying so quickly. And then I take out his army, and then I'm just going to clear out the rest of the base, basically. Basically, huh? So funny. Should be fired. Yeah, but if we look at the team's economies, we can see the warm colors are definitely faltering here. And it's mostly from the other players. But I'm still, I'm doing some damage, man. Actually, looking at the graphs at the end, I did a lot more damage than I realized that I did. I felt like I was not contributing that much in the game. And I probably, maybe the graphs aren't super... Like, was I doing valuable damage here? Not really, but I was doing something. So, you know what? I'm always used to, playing where I'm the only player. It's definitely my comfort zone. I play a lot of Deep Rock Galactic. I actually got my my records today, my vinyl that I bought like 3 months ago for the game, that with the soundtrack and the coasters and everything, which I'm super hype about. It's lovely. It's lovely packaging and everything. But even a co-op game like Deep Rock, I don't play with other people because I'm so scared that I'm not going to be doing enough, and people are going to get on to me, and it's just too much stress. Like, when I play video games, it's for fun. It's to get some enjoyment out of it, and so that's why I don't really like playing these big online games. But in a bigger team, which is why a lot of newer players like the bigger teams, you don't have as much stress. Like, I can't even imagine like doing like a 2v2 and you're with like random people. Like, if I did with like a friend, it's fine. But if I did like a 2v2 online and I like performed horribly, I would feel so terrible because I just wasted like my partner's like 30 minutes of game time by just to lose, right? And everyone's got to lose sometimes, but whatever. So I do actually get some missile trucks out because I'm like, oh crap, now I have a vehicle plant and I need mobile anti-air because I keep seeing these fighters from Dervish the Cat, and I'm worried he has a bigger fighter force, or not even fighters, but like bombers or something. I'm like, I gotta have more anti-air here. And I didn't want to send these guys make like nettles, because nettles, they're okay for early game, but you're gonna want something bigger later on. So I'm like, I need something more. So yeah. Oh, this is where I get the tier 2 constructor. I said thanks. So it was from Confuzzled. It is now heading my way, and I'm planning to. I need more metal badly. I'm sitting on 23 metal, and I really should be expanding over here, but I didn't know. Like, I need a better radar, honestly. Well, that's not... Yeah, I don't even have a radar here. I will build it eventually, but like, I can't really see. I thought there might be something over here. I guess that I did have radar for most of this. I should have known. But, you know, I'm pretty frazzle brain kind of guy, which you may have picked up. Not in real life, but just in video games, I guess. So I wasn't really thinking about it, but I could have gone for some more metal there, but I badly needed tier 2 metal, right? I didn't really even have the metal to go for tier 2 myself. I'm sitting on plus 23, which is 20 minutes in. Is it terrible? Yeah, it's pretty bad. If you want to look at the rest of my team, they're all feeling pretty here with like 30s, 40s, even like 100 for Capek. But I mean, he has been ecoing, so it's fair enough. But yeah, and Quebec really dominated his plateau here. Now he has like mines and brutes and stuff. Like no one's getting past this for now, unless it did just get Juno'd. Yeah, but yeah, by the way. So I do start sending the missile trucks and the stouts across because I keep seeing Pink sending units over here. I'm like, what is happening? So I start going over there. I'm like, maybe he's weak because he's just sending crap. I have no idea. But yeah, Pink is supporting the front over here because Yellow's faltering. Speller Casey actually just fortifying this instead of going in, which is definitely a mistake. And something I fall into as well, which you might have noticed from this replay, is I think one of my big things is I'm not aggressive enough. And also this fight command is so jank. Like you'll see me take out a Trasher and then they move back. Why does the fight command go back here? I have no idea. Yeah, like watch this. And then they all want to turn around. It's the weirdest thing. Yeah, so I just micro them myself. But either way, what was I saying here? Oh, I'm not aggressive enough. Now, I have been going in relatively okay this game, but, like, still. Like, with Nyx just wiping me out, and I was just prepared to just, like, sit on this beach and wait, man, which is never the mindset you want to fall into. I should have really been pushing and stuff like that. Not to a stupid level, but still. So really good Tiger Squad out here for Evers, the light pink player, really invading Speller Casey's little homeland there, and I was kind of worried. So I had like pink units trailing into my land, and then that, and I was like, oh dang. So I go for the pink player here. So there's a big rover force from Dolina. Didn't really do too much over here though. So I move in with the stouts and stuff. He does leave the game. I guess he didn't want to see the destruction of the space. So Gestos gets the space, which is actually good for me because there's no way this guy can micro this, right? Like there's just too much stuff here. So I've got my stouts, I have my missile trucks coming in, so I feel safe from air. You can see these guys are actually going to take out some fighters there. So I'm like, I'm feeling pretty good. The commander does go in, but you can see, like, Gestos is not worried about this. Like, he did get the, you know, he's degunning there, but it's not like, I don't know. So I was feeling pretty decent about that. I did manage to take out the aircraft plant, a mech, some wind, some construction turrets, I think. And I almost got him here, but the missile trucks just don't have the damage. And they're also microing on the fighters, which was a good thing in the beginning, but then it was kind of bad. Speller Casey just getting cleared out here, basically, by these Tigers, which is really awful to see. And I was actually kind of worried, but I knew that this player dropped, so I knew, like, morale was kind of low, and that wasn't because they were winning, right? Like, like I didn't quit the game because Speller Casey went down, right? I was like, you know, I'm gonna stay in this. So because I had a feeling that we were doing pretty well, whereas these guys obviously, like, their front line, actually in the Navy they're doing quite well, but other than that, like, you can see their front line is pretty atrocious here. They're losing like this entire middle island basically. Now the Navy fight I was kind of watching the minimap out of the corner of my eye, which is also, I need to keep more of an eye on the minimap, but I was kind of like worried. I'm like, are we gonna lose the sea? Not that he can do much from the sea, but still, like, getting that taken out, and then they can start producing like a lot of air power once they have the sea. It's kind of how that goes. Like, if you have a sea that can't really attack any of the coastline, you normally transition to some like seaplanes or regular planes. And I was scared. I'm like, if they just show up with a bunch of air power, it's over for me, because you know, I do get on to newer players a lot, but where's my anti-air, right? I have lots of nettles over here because that's where the fighters were. But, you know, in my own base, I have a chainsaw, like 5 nettles, and there's nothing out here. So I was feeling pretty bad. Now I'm starting to get my tier 2 eco up, and I'm making a lot more stouts. Again, yellow is also, you know, Gestos is sending some units over to me. So I was like, is he like prepping for an attack? Is he getting in line of sight? Like, what's happening here? Didn't notice these really in the game, the roughnecks. But looks like they're harassing that base pretty well there. Little dragon spawn here. Tickling the poor pounders there. Actually doing a lot of damage, man. I didn't realize these guys did that much damage to a tank. And then, of course, the anti-swarm. So yeah, I go in. I see that, you know, Dolina was kind of having trouble over there, so I'm like, I can go in right now. That there's definitely nothing over here. And lucky enough for me, there was nothing over here. So I go in with my stouts, I clear out this advanced spot lab, and most of the other parts of the base there, tier 2 constructor, things like that. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. Clapback is starting to go in here. I think one of their biggest problems was BBQ Guru I really hate, I don't want to move, but man did not really do that much this game. Like he's sitting on 15 metal right now and dropping, and he has like no energy. He's not really producing any units. Like he could get this geothermal, which is good, but like he's up against Clapback, of course, so that's going to be difficult. But still, it's like he didn't even eco in his own base, which is really, really rough for that team. That's like an important position to have, right? And this light pink player that was here he did better against Zachar, but still, you know, not quite able to fully contend with him. My stouts do get taken out. Actually, a decent army here from Randomium, but they were already pretty weak. You know, all the explosions from killing buildings and also other random units around dealing damage to me. I do lose a mech here, which is pretty annoying from this aggravator. And my Overwatch is gonna try to take this guy out. Can he do it? No, he can't. What a nerd, dude. But yeah. I mean, I'm feeling pretty good at this point. I am kind of worried again with the Navy situation up here. Now, of course, Clapback gets more brutes in here, which is even worse for that team. So I kind of feel bad. But it was basically like I managed to kill Nyx. I'd done some stuff. I'd done some stuff over here, and then I'd even done some stuff over here and helped in wiping this guy out. But I was also, Justice gets nuked there. I didn't even notice this in game. I didn't even notice someone got nuked, right? That's how like out of it I was basically. But I think the big thing was I felt like I was doing okay, but I wasn't like critical. I wasn't never a critical element. I was just helping. I was helping with like a little bit of cleanup and stuff like that, but I never did anything really. It felt like. But at this point, I mean, the game is kind of lost. We can definitely speed it up at this point. I think if we want to look at eco, they're staying like 200 metal, and we're on like 800. But again, I said in the beginning, like this wasn't like a normal replay. I was more focused on like how myself, like I was doing, which is a whole different ballgame. Like the battle that you're doing like, you know, by yourself, thinking about like the mindset and you know how you're like going and stuff like that. But yeah, so just speed up here a little bit. Another stout army of by mine gets wiped out, and I'm actually the game's not over yet in my mind because I'm actually really worried because like there are so many Mausers out here for Randomium. Christ, good lord, that's a hard name. But I'm like, oh my gosh, this is terrible for me, right? Like, what am I gonna do? But thankfully, you know, I do have my tier 2 plan up, making some constructors, which I'm gonna cancel after. No, I think actually all of these go out. Because I'm a stupid idiot, but I keep making stouts. I'm like, this is enough. This is enough, right? But yeah, he gets pretty close here to my stuff with his army. He does manage to steer clear of this, which they're only tier 1 maxes at this point, not a big deal. But still, right? So he makes his way over to Spellarcasey, who is actually building up again. You know, man doesn't quit. So good on him. And then we also have Dolina down here taking out Randomium's base with some more brutes here. So again, like I wasn't even noticing this, which is, it's stupid to say, but I was like, I had no idea what was going on. So I'm getting hit by gunships here, which is never good. I'm like, oh my gosh, my worst fears are coming true, man. The air power. I see all these fighters over here. So I just like panic. I'm like, okay. So I make an arbalist back here. I'm gonna start making an anti-air in my base, and then I finally start thinking about the Mausers again. I move some stouts over here, try to defend Spellarchy from the stouts. The Mausers are still down here, which I don't even think I see right now. So I'm trying to help my homie out here, but yeah, it's painful, man. I see all these, like, you know, the artillery down there. I'm like, good lord, man, he could just go in right here. So this finally is going to come up. I start making more arbalists in my base. Like, if this stuff gets taken out, at least I have my own little island, which is a mindset I fall into so often, which is just like, I can lose everything but my base, right? Which really you can't. Like, once you start losing stuff outside your base, you lose your base, right? It's just over at that point. So the Mausers are still down here taking out my stouts. and I begin to make some Archangels because I'm still worried about the air power. I still have my mindset on the air power. I'm like, this is terrible, man. All these fighters just sitting up here, and there are gunships and stuff. There's no real threat from that. They're focused on the dang pawn incursion from Zacher here. Another nuke going down. This one I did notice, I think. I'm like, oh, good. This is good for us. But yeah, again, like the game is lost here. But in my own mind, I can't even tell that it's lost. The Mausers are no longer a threat, which is good for me, because I didn't even, maybe this wasn't what I was thinking about. I felt like, oh yeah, so there's another Mauser force. This is the one I was worried about. I was kind of getting confused. I'm like, what? So yeah, all the Mausers down here from Randomium. And I was like, oh my gosh, they take out all my stupid amphibious anti-air. Not all of it, but a decent chunk of it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how am I going to deal with this? So I start, there we go. I start with making gunslingers. I'm like, these guys are going to be okay. They're like pretty fast, and then they can auto-repair. But I'm like, this is obviously stupid, right? Anyways, the pawns out here actually just take out most of these guys. Not even through just the pawn attacks, but through the dang friendly fire that they're doing to themselves is fantastic. So good job from Zacher there. But I do eventually, I'm like, okay, blitzes are fantastic. I see what the pawns are doing. I'm like, oh, blitzes are going to be really good. Anyways, all these Mausers get taken out by the pawns, basically. I think, yeah, there's not even one left, I don't think. Yeah, okay, there's one left. I take out the last one. Yeah, there's not a whole lot left for me. There, but I still have a lot of blitzes, so I'm going to be going down here, I think, and trying to take out Random. And I was like, oh no, he's building up again. Again, I was so worried. I'm always super stressed, it feels like. So I go down with my blitzes, do a little bit of damage. He does get rid of this force eventually, yeah, with the D-gun. I was kind of like, he's not D-gunning. This is really weird. I think he just has no energy. The Navy fight, we're actually winning again. And then, of course, Air Force One from Klapek. He's going to be moving. Just a ton of fighters over there. I guess just for vision, right? Because he does have nuclear facilities. No, I have no idea what he's doing. Maybe just vision for other nuke players. Yeah, nuking from Confuzzle there. So, I mean, all the anti-nuke's still there. Yeah. So I guess he didn't even need the line of sight because he's just going to do the anti-nuke there, anyways. But yeah, I'm focused on taking this guy out. He is taken out actually by the sumo, I think. I thought I took him out, but I did not. Anyways, now I have blitzes that are just going to go in there, and I do probably nothing. But yeah, anyways, we're closing in on the end of the game here, as I'm sure you can tell. But it was fun for me. I had a good time. I was glad that we won. I would have been surprised at this point if somehow we lost. I was like, if they put like a nuke somewhere. I never built any anti-nuke, but there was one built here by the time that I was thinking about it. So I was like, we should be fine. And it doesn't even cover like this stuff. And if a nuke dropped like right here, I'd be in a really bad spot. But these guys don't have the capabilities to build nukes, right? I mean, Dervish does, but he's not focused on that, obviously. And yeah, it's over at this point. It's really just finding the last commanders, taking them out. So there's actually still 3 commanders left for him. Gestos, who should have been taken out like 40 years ago. Oh, also this Tiger Force was actually a lot bigger than I was expecting, like anything to happen to me. So I'm moving like tier 2 constructors and tier 1 constructors out because I'm like, oh, I'll just build some advanced mechs. Nope. So I move them back. I lose my tier 2 constructors and 3 of my tier 1 ones. I'm like, that's awful. So I already have some rattlesnakes back here, and I'm building some more, and I'm like, no one's coming to my aid. I mean, not really, but I was like, this could really hurt me here. But there is Cerberuses back here, and then I also have my own rattlesnakes, and I move in the last of my blitzes, and we're fine. So that's the last scare of the game, basically. The rest of the game, which I think it ends in like 3 minutes, is just taking out the rest of these commanders. So I think, yeah, Gestos leaves. This commander goes to Randomium, whose name I hope I will never have to say again. And yeah, and then of course the Ragnarok starts spooling up, so easily bursts past that single puny overseer. Doesn't take out this Aphis actually for a while, but does manage to take it out eventually, right? Yeah, and there she blows. Yeah, very nice. So that's Ever's base done, but all the commanders, still we have 3 commanders left. The fighters moved in and got absolutely wrecked by, you know, just a couple of Arbalists back here because I think they're all tier 1 fighters. And then the Ragnarok is focused on Dervish's base, which completely blows. And yeah, it's mega over. But I think this lobby actually, I don't know if these guys are just insane or they just like, I think they're just insane, yeah. We do have BBQ Guru trying to make a recluse here. The all-terrain rocket spider. Okay, there he goes. He does leave. I was like, this is insane. This guy's still not left. I mean, all of these guys really. I mean, I feel like they've already quit at this point. Randomium has not quit though. Man is just building naval energy storage. What is he doing? Yeah. So the last couple of commanders do start going down there. It's literally just Randomium. So what a hero, actually. Gonna be cloaking with the last energy reserves that he has. It's minus 1,000 energy, so he should have stopped. Yeah. I mean, I say what he should have done. I mean, he's just having a fun time here. Yeah, down to 47%. Does he actually just get taken out by a persecutor? Oh my gosh. Say it ain't so. He's trying to do his best to dodge. Down on 13%. Can he do it? Can he make it to the minefield? He's doing his best. He's doing his best. He's dodging, ducking, weaving. Oh, he didn't know what self-control was. It is, yeah. Anyways, so I'd actually like to point out the graphs here. So I got an award for the efficient use of resources, which 1.01. I don't know how I did this. I don't really understand how that's being calculated. And then I was the runner-up to destroying enemy units and defenses, which when I saw that, I was like, that's the main one I'm happy about. I'm like, I have no idea how I got that. We can actually look. So here I am, cronchychomp. Mouse clicks a minute, 35. So I'm not even making a mouse click every second. I don't know what MP is actually, so sorry. And then this is keyboard, which is 8 keyboard presses a minute. 8 presses a minute on average. 16 commands a minute on average. So you can see I'm doing nothing, man. My APM is so low. Actions per minute is so low. But if we actually look at the damage dealt, how am I don't even understand. I don't understand. But anyways, I didn't feel like I did super well. Like I felt like I did okay, but I ended up doing actually pretty well. So yeah, I might do another one of these, or I'd like to do some live ones, but, you know, we just got to get over the fact that I'm terrible at this game, so got to learn somehow. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you did enjoy, and I'll see you all later. Adios.